Okay, great. Good evening, Black Diamond, and everybody else, council, administration. I'm going to call a meeting to order at 6:32. And in the spirit of reconciliation, we would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional territories of the people of Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes Blackfoot Confederacy members, Siksika, Pigunni, and Kainai First Nations, the Stoney Nakoda of Bearspaw, Chiniki, Wesley First Nations, the Dene of Tsuut'ina First Nations, the Métis Nation Region 3, and all those that call Treaty 7 lands their home. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. A friendly reminder to my council administration to either mute, vibrate, or shut your phones off, just so that we don't have any hiccups. And with all of that being said, we will move along to the agenda. If I could get a motion, oh, excuse me, before I ask for a motion, do we have anything to add? Do you have any addendums? Nothing? Okay, if I could get a motion to adopt the agenda as is. Thank you, Councillor Bain. All those in favor? Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen. And Councillor Clever as well. Okay, good. Okay, perfect. Okay, moving right along. If I could get a motion to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on February 16th. Councillor Vandenhoek, thank you very much. All those in favor? Wonderful, thank you, everybody. Okay. At this time, I will open the floor to our question period. So if we have anyone that is joining us tonight,
they can't.
I will please remind you to submit your questions ahead of time while we work through our IT reconfiguration, and we'll address those questions either emailed or dropped off at the town office. We'll address those questions here. We don't have any questions, as far as I know, that have been submitted, and we don't have anybody here to ask any questions. So at 6:34, I will close the question period. Okay. We are moving right along to action items. 8.1, which is 2021 Auditor Engagement Letter, and I will pass this over to CAO Brown.
So just as an annual piece, every year the auditor has to have council signature, even though we're on a contract, to be able to do that. They've been in already because we are on a 5-year contract with them. So they were in on January 27th. They will be in the 21st and the 22nd. I believe that those dates have changed. I think they're going to be on the 17th and 18th now, because their time schedule had changed. And we are looking at a tentative presentation April 20th for council to approve the 2021 financial audit. Administration is just looking for council's resolution to have myself and the mayor to sign this off.
Thank you, CAO Brown. If someone would like to give me Deputy Mayor Clever.
The council agreed to authorize CAO Charlotte Brown and Mayor Brendan Kelly to sign the engagement letter with Vail LLP for the 2021 annual audit.
Would anyone like to speak to the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Wonderful. Thanks, everybody. Okay, 8.2 curbside 3 stream collection. I am once again going to pass this over to CAO Brown.
So over the last couple of weeks, or last couple of months, actually, there's been a lot of work done from administration and public works to be able to put the curbside program together. Council approved at JFAC that we will be going in this direction. We are working with our third-party municipality, the town of Okotoks, to be able to put this all together. So we're looking at a tentative start date for the beginning of June. Just a correction in the RFD, and I don't know if everybody can hear me. We did say in here, we were going to be trying to do it within the rates that we have currently. You will hear probably at the JPAC that will not occur. We're probably looking at $2.50 per month increase for 3 streams. And as part of this program, we're also looking to request council's approval of having an additional $6,600 for the organic bucket that residents would get free to put into their kitchen or wherever they need it. This one says Town of Okotoks, but we will not have any branding on there. We would have the hot stamp on there, and I don't know if the people or virtual people can see it. Can I do this?
Yeah, please, yeah.
Can I play Vanna?
We need a model, or somebody to model.
Walk it down for us.
Let me see. I have it in front of you guys so you can see as well. These are the buckets that we're looking at getting. I won't say the Town of Okotoks, but as you see on there, they'll be hot stamped with what you can put in the organic package and use it as an educational experience. We can source these buckets at $4.99. And we are requesting that Turner Valley is also doing the same process. We did not include this additional expense in our program outlay for budget, so I'm asking for this to be included as part of the costing goods for the 3 streams.
Awesome, thank you. Deputy Mayor Kligerman.
So I have 2 questions. The $2.50 increase, is that per month or per bill?
Per month.
And is that above and beyond what is included currently on the bill or what was quoted when we discussed these 3 streams?
We're still working out all of the financial details, but because of the way the contracts would be coming into play, we are looking at potentially, and all this will come out at the JPAC meeting on what we need to do with billing because it's going to take a bylaw change. It's going to, some of the delivery charges of what we were quoted have changed, but they're not necessarily more expensive. It has to do with the tipping. Yeah.
Got a question, and it's just, I've been talking to a few of my neighbors, and a few of them are just concerned on all the carts that are going to be in the laneways now, and wondering what the ability is on having alleyway pickup based on this. Is that an extra cost, or how does that work? Is that something that can be factored into it?
The routes and the pickup dates and all of that has not been established at this point in
Okay.
time. So if there would be a change in the route pickup, then that would be something that if you can send that to me early on.
Okay.
And that request, I would really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean, I'm concerned about the fact that there's gonna be trucks rolling in more times, and the fact something could get, a car could get hit, there's kids, all these things. So 3 times the amount of waste bins, 3 times the amount of trucks. So it's just, if you can keep it in the back alleys and keep it kind of neat and tidy, and people don't have to drag it across their lawns.
Yeah, if you can send me those
Yeah.
concerns early on,
Okay.
as we're still exploring this, that would be very beneficial.
You betcha.
We are looking at different cart sizes for areas that don't do their own organics, and all they'll have is their kitchen wastes organic program, or they don't do their yards. So there's some bare land condos where people, where there's companies, third-party contractors that do the landscaping, and they remove that. So there's a lot of, this is just the first part of putting the program into play, right? We also are trying to figure out what we're doing with commercial places, because there's some facility issues that we're going to have to deal with as we're going through this program.
Mhm.
So that's what we're working through at this point.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Thank you.
Councillor Bain.
That's an awful small bucket. What are we going to do for lawn clippings during the summer and leaves during the fall? Is that,
Oh, in your package, this is your kitchen bucket.
okay, that's,
This is your kitchen bucket. Okay, so you are getting a full size cart,
okay.
right?
And that's just, okay. Yeah,
It's your-
yeah, I saw the little hook on the back. I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah, that's your kitchen bucket. Your your actual container is 240 liters.
Okay,
And it's in the picture.
yeah, that's what I
So it's the
thought.
same
I
size.
saw it there. and
Yeah,
that
so
doesn't
we
look
have
like the
all
picture.
of the containers. We have all the recycling containers. We have all of the green bins. Turner Valley's gonna go first on there, and we have to get some of the pieces up and running earlier because Turner Valley needs to do a cart changeout.
Yeah.
Right now they have blue carts for their garbage and that has to be moved to black carts so that the blue carts can be used for recycling. So there's some, the communication is going to be slightly different. Their launch of the program is going to be, and the launch of the program will be simultaneous, but the bin changeout will happen mid-April, I believe, for them. And then once they're done their cart changeout, then we will be looking at delivering the carts to our residents and then implementation hopefully for June.
Great.
We will have a presentation at JFAC where the public works managers and the third-party contractor will be, Okotos will be doing a presentation on it.
Great.
Is there,
Did you have any thought?
I did. I'm getting conflicting reports that these little bins were included in the purchase of the organics wheel bin.
they haven't been included in the budget.
Okay. Is it, well, it doesn't really matter, but I guess we'll find out next week at JFAC about costs and all that.
The cost of the bins have already been, the residual cost of the bins have already been purchased. They came out of a previous motion from council that we used our garbage truck residual to pay for the bins. The program delivery may need to be adjusted, which will be a potential rate increase, and I'm just letting council know now that there is potentially a rate increase with 3 screws. These bins, little kitchen catcher bins, are not included as part of the program. They weren't included as part of the goods budget. We haven't presented the full budget to council, but we're asking for early approval on these so we can get them ordered.
Will the full details on the budget be presented at JFAC next week?
I hope so. That's what we're working towards. Does Andrew have a question?
I do not.
Okay. You guys are okay?
Thank you, though.
Okay. Would anyone like to put a motion on the floor? For this? Sure. Okay,
Motion.
please go ahead. I was just looking for something.
That council agree to accept administration report, or no, we're doing all 3 of these, eh? Or the 1 and 2?
1 and 2, please.
Yeah, okay. That council agree to accept the administration report on 3-stream curbside parking or pickup for information. And that council agreed to include 6,600. Okay. I was like, nobody's correcting me. So I'm just looking up for it.
2 motions.
2 motions.
Okay. All those in favor of the first motion? Okay, great. And would you like to do the second one?
Sure.
Please, yeah, go right ahead.
That council agreed to include $6,600 in the solid waste goods budget for organic countertop pail purchase to be included in the green cart delivery process.
Would anyone like to speak to this motion before we vote? Seeing none, all those in favor? Okay, passed unanimously.
Thank you, council.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you. Okay, moving right along.
Just on the
Oh, go ahead, Councilor Dunning.
technical question. Sure, technical question here. I'm not sure, but I think whoever's sharing the screen, we have duplication. We have Daryl and I on the screen as well as on our own screen. So maybe if we just have the agenda, I'm not sure if it's just because I'm seeing 2 of me and 2 of Daryl, one of you guys. I'm not sure if there's something that can be cleaned up on the presenter's computer there.
We will take a look at it, Councillor Dunning.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Can you see their faces?
That works.
I can't.
So, but if I open it up.
I can swap back, or if you request it, I can swap back
Okay.
for voting.
Okay, so Councillor Dunning and Councillor Lawn, just so that you're aware, we cannot see you when we do this. So I'll have Verna switch back when we do voting. But in the event that you would like to say something, if you could make like a long like cow sound or something like that.
So,
Just kidding.
so on this, if Verna's watching, on this, there is a hand up part. If I put my hand up, it'll come up beside my name and she can see that I have a question without interrupting anybody. So I just did it now. So you can see beside my name, Verna, on your computer. My hand is up.
I only have a single screen in here in the room this way, and so I can either see what we're sharing or I can see you. I can't see both.
So how did you just do that?
Okay, okay.
Down here.
I'm hovering.
Okay, well, maybe we just have to hover.
Well, I can
Sure.
do that sort of.
Yeah.
Okay. Learning curve, but this is great, man. Thank you for being patient with it. This is awesome.
Thanks, Councillor Dunning. We're working on it. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if they want to say something to interrupt us, that's fine.
That's fine.
Okay, cool. 8.3, 2021 Westlands Community Requisition. Dare I say, I'm passing this back to Edmund.
So annually, we do get this request that comes forward from West Winds Communities. This is a legislated amount. This shows on the tax bill differently. It'll fall under the seniors requisition, does not come as part of the municipal mill rate. We have 30 days after the invoice is rendered to be able to pay that. Because we have not passed our operational budget at this time, council is requesting that administration is requesting that council approve the payment of $48,232.94 to West Winds Community
Thank you.
before penalties are applicable.
Would anyone like to speak to it, or would you like to put a motion on the floor? Please do, Councillor Bain.
That council agreed to request that administration pay the 2021 requisition invoice from West Winds Communities in the amount of $48,232.94. And I have no further comment on that.
Thank you, Councillor Bain. Would anyone like to speak to it before we vote? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Councillor Dunning. Thank you, Councillor Lalonde. Thanks, everybody. Passed unanimously. Okay. 8.4, SOWAG inventory. CAO Brown?
So because there's a number of people attending virtually and a number of council members that wouldn't be included to see the SWAG in person, we did take some pictures and included them in your council package, as well as the cost of each of the inventory and what we have in-house. This came forward because we were having the conversation of SWAG at our last council meeting. And so we put together some packages for not these big items, they're smaller items that we give to our user groups, which contain some honey and some, and if you want to show the honey on the camera.
Is that what you're calling them
That might
now?
Where are we?
little jars of honey and little chocolates, as well as some pins. We have bath bombs
That's okay.
Look at that. Diamond bath bomb. Gee.
Mayor Kelly, it sounds or it looks like you've missed your calling as a hand model.
I did do my nails this morning. No.
So for larger events, such as golf tournaments and for door prize donations. We do have what we call package A, B, and C for council to decide to give away, and that's what will come forward. So you'll have package A, which is
Cutting board.
the cutting board.
It's how do you say?
It's
Oh,
embossed.
yeah, the picture right there, yeah.
It's embossed with the Black Diamond logo.
Yeah, it's really nice.
We have 19 of those.
Are those for sale?
No. No.
Can we make them for sale if we don't give them all out so that we can
That'll be a conversation that we may want to
closer?
have at a, another junction. Because we may have some inventory that may be remaining in our sway pile, and if we ever go through a rebranding exercise, this might become surplus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
make some cash off it. I know I'd be buying some Christmas gifts.
so
Love it.
anyway, that's,
Doesn't exist anymore. Here you go. Yeah.
so anyway, just to, so the council, I believe that the request came forward from Councillor Lalonde, and seeing that, you know, not a lot of, sometimes that we have to do these virtually, it was a good idea just so that we can show new council what we have and what we give away.
What are elf hats with ears? That's for the light up event?
Yes, I didn't bring any out.
Charlene's like,
I'm sure
I'd
they're
rather not.
You know good? Curlers would love those. I'm sure it'll keep your ears really warm.
Deputy Mayor,
So in your inventory list, it says you have 0 mason jars left, but you have them included in package C.
That's correct, because they are included in package C. There is 0 left in the inventory. They've all been moved to the package.
Okay, so how many package Cs are there? Well, we need to know this. Yeah, I need to know.
We got a lot of beer fest shirts.
8.
8, okay.
Beer fest.
We have a lot of beer fest mugs. They're very tiny little mugs. You like to see what they look like. We have 8 of the packages.
nice.
And these are the mugs that we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Great stuff.
And a lot of small little ones as well.
And a lot of small little mugs. I did not bring those out to the table. Nor did I bring out the tank tops or the t-shirts because they're specifically for a September beer festival. And whether or not we move ahead with that, they may not be appropriate to be used at any other event.
That's fair.
Okay.
And we wouldn't want Mayor Kelly modeling those either.
I was about to say, I'll go put one on.
Yeah. He wants me to do it. I'll do it.
Do you want me to put one on? No, it's okay. That's great. Thank you, Charlene.
No problem.
Grab him a small one.
That's what I figured they were all small.
Yeah.
No, and nor did I take pictures of those.
Okay. Would anyone like to give us a motion?
All right. That council agrees to accept the swag report for information purposes.
All those in favor?
Uninformed.
Aye.
Passed unanimously. Thanks, everybody. And thank you, Charlene, for entertaining us. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Those are the cutting board. I use one of those like barbecue things. Those are great. Didn't know I'd been eating metal now.
Right?
I had no idea.
So I gotta keep those little spurs out there.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's move right along. 8.5, live streaming, recording of council meetings. I will pass this over to.
Because nobody else wants to talk about it. Except for council. So the report before you, and I apologize, it was long-winded, even for me. So a lot of it was just a repeat of the December information because much of it really hadn't changed. But following the February 16th meeting where we did our very first ever recorded meeting, We did receive some feedback, and so I called in Mayor Kelly and asked him to sit and have a little chat with me, and we talked about a few things that we could do in-house, such as the difference in screen sharing and the calling of the votes and that kind of thing within the room, that things are that we can improve upon for free and with just a little bit of a change in the meeting. And so those are things we can, as a group, we can work on to change or improve or whatever we need to do to make this work for everybody. So those things are on the table all the time. We did talk a little bit about question period as well. The procedure bylaw is intended for in-person meetings. It was built long before we ever had COVID, and we didn't have any kind of electronic meetings before then. So it talks about being in the room and asking questions. And then, of course, the addition on the agenda gave people an instruction or an option to provide a digital question, either at a meeting with the go-to. It was people were able to speak in the meeting without being pre-registered. So now they could be pre-registered or just send their question in and we would read it out for council. So whatever is their comfort level, we can accommodate that with the virtual meetings if they don't want to be in person. And that agenda piece there, we can modify that wording a little to make council comfortable with the fact that it's available to everybody under either circumstance. So that's an option. And then moving into the hardware question that was raised back in December. In speaking with the folks at Bulletproof, they're still standing by their recommendation that the Logitech Rally camera and audio equipment is probably the best for our room, because it allows the, I believe daisy chain is the right word, of microphones to go around your table and down to other spaces. There's 7 that can be moved in there into that system with one camera that probably, by my bad sketch drawing, and please, it's a bad sketch drawing, probably would go either on the pole or very close to it. Between the pole and that one ceiling tile up there, somewhere is likely where your camera would go. And it would get all of the council table. It wouldn't get much more outside of that. So you do need to be aware there still are some limitations there. So I guess what administration would like from council is to figure out what is your goal to change the current process and how can we best achieve that. What is the real need for the technology expansion, or what is the limit to which the expansion should go? And are we going to consider the technology as something that we could possibly expand later if we needed to, or change? Or is it kind of a static, quick solution? Is council satisfied that my learning curve will be sufficient as we work through this, that we can make things work with a little practice and some changes, and watching your clerk squirrel as we go through admitting people into meetings and things. So those things will get better with experience and with the conversations about what we can do to make meetings better for yourselves and for the public, and to make sure our recordings are looking good, because they are now available on our YouTube channel. The one is now available on our YouTube channel. If you're okay with this Teams platform, and I recommend we do keep it and get used to it and get familiar with it, then we'll let the GoToMeeting subscription go before it winds up 1st of June, I think it renews, so we'll let it go by then. And I think also, of course, we have to take a look at the potential amalgamation, whether the in-person meetings, because they're a reality again. And to your lovely plexiglass barriers and things like that that could change audio in the room too, as we work through that, as well as your own comfort. And they might affect how we make final decisions about placements and things like that too. So, I did talk a little bit about the meeting procedures regulation that was put in place during COVID. As far as I am aware, it was still in place yesterday. I don't know if it will be rescinded anytime soon, if they'll write it into the MGA. Your guess is as good as mine. So I think it's my feeling that you guys as a council want to keep going with the recorded meetings. So I don't think it matters which way the regulation goes. But it does allow your attendance virtually, which is a little bit of a different ballgame from that. So it is right now in play. When it goes away, we might have to revert to looking at our procedure bylaw for other things, but that's not got anything to do with the hardware. That's just management of meetings. So, yeah, so I guess if council's okay, I'm all right working through the changes, but we'll work through the changes, whatever they are, whether it be just the learning to use the software or putting in some new technology and learning to use that too.
Thanks, Brendan.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you were saying you were talking with Barry about the system that they have. Will we have now be able to integrate with what they have when the town merges and we figure out where we're going to do all this stuff?
The Teams meetings?
Not the teams, but the equipment that we're going to use being kind of proposed as well with that.
I would suggest that it will not integrate. It might be able to integrate, but you are now looking at requiring AV software to start using multi-cameras and stuff. Now you're talking about managing OBS as well as meeting management. So you're going to start needing more staff in your meetings.
I'm not even just saying like with having two separate buildings. I'm just saying like with what the equipment they have, we able to install that with this equipment if we ever decide that we bring all that stuff over. There's got to be some kind of merger between our server systems and all this kind of things. So if we can take all that equipment, what's the equipment management? Nobody's buying all the equipment. So
sorry.
No worries.
I got it.
I think Councillor Denning has a question. I'm not sure how to answer your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if and when amalgamation goes through, it's probably in the best interest of the future to get equipment that's all going to be compatible, where you're just going to be one shot.
Well, that's even what I mean now is this stuff. How do I word this?
Like if we bought.
How quickly will this stuff be surpassed in the next X amount of years, 3 years? Are we able to add to it? Are we able to is this just this? I know it's a weird question, but it's just, is it worth it?
Yeah.
That's the question. If somebody else already has it, I mean, it's great to do meetings and I want to have the meetings. It's great, but if they already have it, we're going to be working.
Question here,
Councillor Dunning.
or a comment question. Like, what kind of money are we talking? I think we probably just spent more on plastic buckets than we'd spend on technology. Like, this stuff is a dime a dozen anymore, like to get cameras and mics to get something to work on a program such as Teams, which doesn't cost all that much either. So this is like kind of almost moot to talk about how much this stuff's going to cost and does it integrate, because it doesn't cost that much.
We're quoted at 10,000 is in the report, Councillor Dunning.
And I just gotta.
That's crazy. It's got to. I could mic that room and get cameras working for a lot cheaper than that.
It's all expensive. In my personal life, I just got a quote for cameras that was almost 18. So
1,000.
Yeah.
Seriously.
For
Wow.
3 cameras.
I'm in the wrong business.
But at the same time, it's technology shit's expensive. So how quickly does it?
Well, I know all about technology and expense. I mean, I'm running some pretty expensive cameras myself, but the camera quality like how much quality, like how good is it going to be? And how good does it have to be able to accomplish what we want to accomplish? Are we looking at maybe too much of a system for what we're looking for?
Councillor Wilkins, fingers waving.
Councillor Lalonde?
Thank you very much. I don't think the question's necessarily the level of quality we're looking at. I think the issue we got to consider here is we're sitting on the fence waiting for direction. Are we prepared to invest $1 until we know what our future holds, until we know what's compatible or not? Do we start from scratch? What's going to happen? I think at this point in time, personally, we make do with the systems we're running. We adapt as we need to minorly. And then when the hammer comes down, however it falls, if it's a decision for the new council, then it's their budget. If it's ours, then we can work together with Turner Valley, whatever. But I think right now, until that direction comes down, I don't think we should do anything further. Thanks very much.
I agree with that.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Lalonde. I did, just before I jumped, I did have a request from Councillor Thompson for administration if there was funding in the MSI grant for this type of investment.
At $10,000, there would be room in the MSI for that type of investment, if I can answer.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah,
Yep.
there would be room for $10,000 in MSI, if we wanted to utilize that.
Okay.
Having said that, we've been using our MSI for capital projects, and we would want to make sure that our council would have to have those conversations at their budget time to see whether or not, in what direction would they like those dollars spent.
Okay, thank you, Cecile Brown. Councillor Bain.
Further to Councillor Lalonde's point, if we take $10,000 out of MSI for cameras, that's $10,000 that we can't spend on something else. So we are spending the money, no matter where it comes from. So I don't know that we really want to spend any money right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Thank you, Councillor Bain. I just, I wanted to do my due diligence for Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I think you addressed some of the issues that the feedback brought up, like people didn't know who voted, what the vote was, but you're voting RFD. If you say it was carried, if it's a recorded vote, state who voted which way, I think that solves that problem.
Yeah, and that was my fault, and I had a conversation with him about that.
That was what told.
I was. I pushed that meeting as far as I could.
There was no scolding.
No, there wasn't, no. It was just for, for me, yeah, so I just missed it.
And you do fairly well when someone asks a question, you state the speaker before.
We tried to.
Yeah,
Thank
so that was the feedback we got to fix that issue.
Yeah, and like Verna said, it's a steep learning curve initially, and for her to jump in at that was a big vote that we had to do, and I thought she did great.
Yeah.
Can't argue with the technology. I mean, so okay, well, I think I know where we're going. Would someone like to put something on the table? Councillor Bain?
The council agreed to continue using the Teams webinar online meeting platform for council meetings. And I have no further comment on that. Thank you.
I can see everybody's first.
Would anyone else like to speak to it before we vote? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, carried unanimously. Great, okay. Good. And we appreciate all the hard work, Verna, that you guys have been putting in. I know that's not easy to especially with the amount of pressure of that meeting. Hope you didn't get any nasty emails from anyone.
I did not. I got lovely phone calls.
Just kidding. We're in a good mood tonight. Okay,
It's good meeting.
yeah, let's keep rolling. Reports and other. Oh, I'm
Another
sorry.
motion on here,
Oh,
I believe.
sorry. Okay, Councillor Bain.
The council agreed to continue to use the existing audio-visual hardware and technology in council chambers. And I think that we've already spoken to this until such time as we know where we're going. I don't want to spend a lot of taxpayer money on things that may be sitting on the shelf in a year.
Would anyone like to speak to the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful, thanks, everybody. Carried. Okay, thank you, Councillor Bain.
It's okay. It's mine.
Okay, friendly reminder, committee reports are due next Wednesday, before the following week regular meeting. And we will just keep on moving down to correspondence and information. This one? No? Okay. Okay, 10.1, the Minister of Municipal Affairs letter referring to the budget of 2022.
That's the provincial budget.
Right. Thank you. Would anyone like to speak to that? If not, we'll just move right ahead. And we'll accept these as information again. Anyone like to speak to that? Okay. Hearing no moves. The Minister of Seniors and Housing, 10.1 II. Would anyone like to speak to this one? Okay, would anyone like to give me a motion to accept these two letters as information? Thank you very much, Councillor Vandenhoek. Perfect. All those in favor to accept the two letters as information?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, we have no notice and motion on the table. I think I saw Jason and Pam were spectating. I'm not sure if they're still with us or not.
Jason is.
I would ask if you could take a recess before we go into closed.
Sure. Okay. So for those of you that are with us virtually, we're going to call a recess before we go into a closed session. After which, when we come out, if anything needs to be decided, obviously we'll decide it at that point. But if nothing comes out of the motion, then we'll just be adjourning, or excuse me, if nothing comes out of the closed session, then we'll just be adjourning the meeting. Jason, if you're still with us, if you'd like to reach out to myself personally, feel free to shoot me a Facebook message and we'll let you know when we're about to come out of closed session. Other than that, we will take a 5-minute recess right now at 7:15. We'll be back at 7:20 and we'll enter a closed session from there. Thank you very much.
You are live.
Okay, Councillor Bain.
Move that we come out of closed session.
Thank you, Councillor. All those in favor? We don't need to vote on any motions, so at 8:11, I am going to adjourn the meeting. Thanks, everybody.